What's up, guys? We are coming to you live from the Roar Zone. The Roar Zone, that's right. We finally named this studio the Roar Zone. What do you think? You like
I love it. I love the studio.
Roar, baby, roar. So we're live here coming out of Marietta. Hey, starting in June, we're going to start to switch some times around. I think we're going to take the Tuesday show today from 1 o'clock to 6:30. So we're going to have two 6:30 shows during the week, and I think that's going to be best for people. I think for everyone involved. So let me make sure that I can see us. Here we are. All right.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Let me lower the volume on that so we're not, distracting ourselves. Beautiful. That looks fantastic too.
See what happens when you got a techie guy here with you? Makes life so much easier, man. So much easier. Big G, what's happening, buddy? So it's been 9 months since you've been on. We've been working together. We've been collaborating. I know that you've been growing and evolving and outside your comfort zone quite a bit, right? To say the least. Yeah, and I a lot of times, I might assist in that, and I get it. I have a little bit of a demented sense of humor, right? Because I grew up with Tommy, so
I was gonna say,
I kind of enjoy sometimes seeing. Seeing that uncomfort because I know what's going to happen. You become that person on the other end.
Oh yeah.
But what I want to share with people, the reason I was looking forward to getting you back on, is because of who you are, what I know, your age, what's been going on, and the struggles and the obstacles that you've been getting through, working through, and then some of the successes. And that's what I want you to be able to share, and also. And you know me, man. We're gonna hit it all, but I'll just chunk it down and I'll pull out those golden nuggets. And one of the main things I want to, and we don't have to do it now. I think we're gonna do it a little bit later, but I want to really touch on what you now believe, what you define in your own mind, right? Because there's no right or wrong. The difference between EQ and IQ. And how important or non-important it is, and what you've learned over the last 9 months, or actually since we really been working together, right? Over the last year, but but 9 months since you've been on the show. So let's jump into people that don't know you. Introduce yourself. Let them know, where you're from and what's going on. Where you're at now, and then I'll just chunk it down.
Beautiful. Well, I'm George Elias. Dave calls me G, Big G, G Money. Hate that last one. But and I'm a filmmaker. Fig Tree Cinemas is my company, and I've been having it for I've owned it for about 3 years. I've been working consistently with it, and originally from the Bay Area, but before that, my family's from the Middle East. So I got that entrepreneur, that old world come to the
immigrant
hustle. You got World War II, I got the immigrant, and I wrote something about this. They're almost identical. Almost identical. The hustle, the get up,
the grit,
the grit, the own your word. That's the biggest one I could take from both of us that are the same. Yeah. And I just love filmmaking and decided to turn it to a business 3 years ago, and that led me to some fantastic places that for my age is almost unheard of.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we're going to jump into that too about the EQ and the IQ, and then the industry that you decided that you wanted to jump in, right? And but that and it's caused some growing and some stretching on your part. But let's jump back, man. I mean, I know you're from a big family. You're the firstborn of a big family. So coming from that immigrant world, there's a lot expected from you. Yeah. Right. A little different than the youngest.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to say oldest to youngest, because my family is so fantastic in the way that they expect from you what you are able to do. Okay. So, for me, and I'll admit this right off the bat, I'm not a very good cook. I'm not going to be, I can eat, but I'm not a very good cook. So
it's not your thing.
It's not my thing, so they won't expect me to make dinner. If I make dinner, they'll kind of be like, okay, let's taste it first and see if it's good or not. Right. But they won't expect me to do that. They will expect me to take out and take care of the backyard because I love working out in the yard. So everyone is expected what they're able to do in my family, and that's kind of the immigrant. That's kind of
So are you
Yeah.
saying that they kind of do it in reverse, where
Yeah.
they want you to find out what you enjoy,
Yeah.
and then run with it?
And run
Because I
with
know
it,
your
yeah.
brother, he loves cooking,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
and your dad loves cooking.
Oh
right?
yeah. That's what connects them, is that they
Okay.
cook.
Yeah, yeah. They love it. They
They love
enjoy it.
cooking.
And I still haven't tasted any of the meals, so I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to taste those meals, man. So you come from an immigrant family. One of how many?
7. I'm the
One of
oldest
7. Okay, one of 7, and you're 19.
Yeah.
19 years old, and you have your own business. You've had it for 3 years. You graduated high school, and
Yep.
I know that is true because I was there at the graduation. I did see that piece of paper.
You saw
so
that
he's
piece
not
of
lying.
paper. I'm not lying.
He's not lying. And then you jump right into college.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this: is college what you thought it was going to be?
Yes and no. Yes, in the fact that everyone told me, oh, it's just going to be all tests. It's going to be so hard. And to me, it was just, you go in, take the test, and you're out. You're done. I'm so fortunate that my IQ is an ace up my sleeve. I could just go in, get an A, and get out. Now, everyone from college who's watching this is probably going to hate me.
Now, how do you do that? Like, in other words, you don't have to sit through class?
I do sit through classes, but I don't take notes. I just sit there, and I'm just really good. I have a really good memory. I sit there, I take everything in, and just process it.
Okay.
I've just been given this gift of memory. Like,
Okay.
I'll remember almost every conversation I'll have with my teacher.
Okay.
So, not to get too technical, but it's almost, let's say photographic memory. Yeah, I have that. I'll just remember everything the teacher tells me to do, how to do it, when to do it. I go in, take the test, out. It takes me 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, so how long you been in? Is this your second year?
This is my first year.
Oh, first year in
Yeah,
college. Where are you going?
UC Riverside for neuroscience.
Okay, for neuroscience.
Yeah.
Now, what made you pick that?
My brother. My brother Paul is epileptic. He's been epileptic since I was 7, so figure 2005. And when he had his first seizure, you don't know fear until you see someone like
Yeah.
almost
Just helpless.
helpless, and you can't do anything about it.
Right. And you're helpless.
I'm helpless because I'm 7 years old and I'm with my baby brother, and he's
Right.
5 or 6, and I'm just like, I don't want to lose this guy.
Yeah.
And since then, I would always go and I would always read about books about the brain, and you had the books. Then I went to National Geographic books, and I went all the way up to
Okay.
college level. And in 2014, I was given the opportunity to represent Loma Linda University, the best neuroscience school in the country, at the neuroscience conference. I beat out every single one of their students.
Really?
Every single one of their students, I beat them, and I was able to represent the school.
Wow. So, how did they find you? How did you even get invited? How did that all come about?
My mom, oh my goodness, she is in connection with a lot of people, and they just said, she got an email one time when I came back from a science fair saying, hey, your son's interested in this, might be interested in this, let him come on out. So we thought nothing of it. We thought, okay, there's going to be a challenge, so if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. So I'll go up, and I beat every single one of them, and it was...
And how'd you beat them? In what way?
It was almost like Jeopardy. Like, they would ask a question, and I would answer it. So I beat them. There was 35 questions. I got 30 of them correct. They didn't even pass 15, 20.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So that's the IQ working right there. That's the IQ working right there.
Wow. So your why is bigger than you. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know you're an interesting guy, and I say that because I know you now, right? And I've been around you long enough where your IQ definitely will tend to run in the front, right? And your EQ is what you're always looking to build,
to grow,
and to bring more to the forefront,
yeah.
right? And especially with interesting, and usually people with that, right? Because I'm the reverse.
Yeah.
So people with that seem to not tend to get into industries that you need to be creative.
Yeah.
And you picked an industry, with video and photography that, we talked about this. They're not paying you because what you know about that camera.
Right.
They're not paying you that because you can take that camera apart, put it back together, right?
Can I get the shot?
Right. can you get the shot? Can you create the energy? Can you create the scene, right? And so many creative people see that, right? That's like their, you know, in what you do, that's their ace, right? So it's usually, and I'm not saying, I'm sure they also, because they have such a passion for it, that they do know cameras and whatnot, right? Just like a car person.
Oh yeah.
But in order to, I don't know, man. It's interesting dynamic for me, right? So, and I love learning about the mindset and the conscious, subconscious. So, it's just been an interesting journey for me to see. But I know that one of the things we really worked on a lot. Well, I'll let you share it, but over the especially the last 9 months, because you know we talked about your show when you were on and we dissected it, right? And it helped you see the picture outside the frame.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've learned over the last 9 months since you've been on?
I can really bore myself.
Okay. Okay. What do you mean?
I was growing up, I love taking apart stuff. I've taken apart so many things, and I love dissecting and describing all the details.
Okay.
And I love taking in the details, but gosh, watching that episode back, I was like, tell me the story, not the details. And I've noticed that as the EQ gets stronger, I'm starting to more and more just work on the storytelling and the ability to convey a message without worrying about all the little details. Now, I do have to worry about the details because that's, you know, why do I have all this equipment?
Sure you do. It's,
I have to worry about the details, but you don't need to worry about that. Or I don't need to worry about it to the point where it inhibits what the main goal is.
And probably even more so, and let me expand on this and you tell me if I'm moving in the right direction. Even more so, not only don't I as a client or they as a client have to worry about it, they don't care to worry about it, right? They don't care about any of that, right? That's not why they brought you on. And I know that was one of the things that we did, but and let's go even a little deeper with this, and I'm able to do this just because of what I know and how we've been able to work together. Is the coolest thing out of this whole story how he's finding his EQ, how he's pulling his EQ to the front, because his IQ is never going to go anywhere. It's always going to be very, very strong in him and keep growing. But by George being able to pull that EQ out of the shadows, right? It's opening up doors, I believe, right? An opportunity maybe that might have not been there. Is that the case?
That's absolutely the case, because with IQ, I got to so far. I got so far academically, I got so far, I was able to pick something up and figure out how it works in seconds. With the EQ, working its way back up, with this already strong and this already strong, with this already strong and this becoming strong, it's unstoppable.
Right.
It's unstoppable.
You have that combination,
Yeah.
right? What are some of the things that you've noticed or your work? How do you work on your EQ? What do you do?
I almost forget the stuff I already know. For me, I'm either all in or all out, so I'm either going to be all IQ or I'm going to be all EQ when I'm training. Now, when I'm working, it's going to be a little different, but when I'm training, it's like, okay, forget what you know and just approach it like you've never seen it before.
Okay.
So approach it and come at it just like...
A lot of time, like photography for dummies.
Yeah, photography for dummies. Yeah. I'll just go at it like I haven't even done it before.
Okay.
And it's like I'll look at something and I'll kind of wander off a little bit while on my own time. I'll wander off and I'll be like, oh shoot, I didn't even think of it like this. I didn't even think of it like this. And then take it and pull it back. See, for me, I've learned this as far as creativity. This is going to sound a little hippie stuff, but follow me for a minute.
Oh, you're in SoCal.
Yeah, I'm in SoCal, and it's but creativity is like going to another world and coming back with what you've found. It's going to...
So you feel like it's taking a journey.
It's like taking a journey.
Okay.
It's like taking a journey and coming back with stuff that coming back with the information and the art and the creativity that wasn't there. Creativity is pretty much creativity. Look at the word, creating a world that didn't exist before. Creating, not creativity is creating. It's not modifying something, it's creating something new.
Right.
So that's what really clicked with me.
Okay, and that's helped you
Oh yeah.
along this path because I've seen the pictures before, now the pictures that you're posting now on Instagram.
And I'll put those up. When you see the edit of this, you'll see those in the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also I know some of we just got done a reality shoot, and that has come a long way.
That
right?
is,
and that has come a long way. And here's how I know that your EQ is really starting to surface is when we were talking about music. So I was giving you some artists that we all know to give you some sort of guideline, right? And then ultimately you found, and you have sites that you can use music from. It's not, taken from an artist. Right. Okay. And then what happened was just a little bit back and forth. Then you started to send me songs that you knew I probably would like, right? So right there shows you that you're getting more and more in tune with your customer. Yeah. And that's everything. That's everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With what you do, right? That's everything. So do you feel that? Do you see that?
I feel that absolutely. It's a process. It's not a point A to point B. It's a figure it out as you're going, figure it out as you're going, because I will always be more creative. George a year from now is going to be so much better than the George today, and I am proud to say that I'm better than the George 9 months ago.
So I'm curious, man. I'm looking at your shirt. Where did the name Fig Tree Cinemas come in?
Fig Tree Cinemas. When I came up with the name of this, I was doing a lot of weddings, and I still do weddings, but not as much as I would like. In the Middle Eastern culture, one of the things you put, like for the bride and the groom, you get a big basket of all of the pomegranates, figs, persimmon. It's almost like an offering to the bride and the groom, and it's like a smorgasbord that the whole family eats. Yeah. It's the work of the land, and so I figured fig tree. It just rolled off the tongue. I was working with Dad on it, and it rolled off the tongue. And also, I don't know if you know this, the name George in Arabic means the earth worker, the one who's willing to work in the earth and pull out the produce. Okay. So it's kind of harkening back to the old to the motherland, if you will.
Well, then there was a lot of thought put into it. I figured there was because it is unique, right? Yeah. It is different. And I'm sure I knew there had to be some sort of tie-in. That's why I wanted to ask you. So, how is it at 19? Because I know you also work at your family's Elias shoes. Yeah. So working there, spending time with your family, going to college, and building your business. How are you able to do all that?
How badly do you really want to do it? That's the question that I ask myself. Do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? Or do I feel that there's a need to do something? Like if there's, the college, there's a lot of parties there. I don't give a darn about those.
It's just not your thing.
It's not my thing. It's do I really want to go there? Are they paying me to shoot? No? All right, I don't have to go. Right. I mean, it's you have to prioritize what you want. Do I want to spend time with my brothers and sisters in my family? Absolutely. Right. That's a priority. Do I want to build my business? Absolutely. Do I want to work for the family shoe store? Absolutely. Do I want to be the best student I can be? Absolutely. Do I want to be spiritual? Absolutely. Whatever's a priority, make it a priority, and then get rid of what doesn't matter. Yeah. Just streamline what doesn't. Stop focusing on dumb stuff. That's kind of a modified Gary Vee quote. Yeah. Yeah. But
it's a G-rated.
Yeah, it's a G-rated. Okay, we gotta notice about that too.
It's a G-rated. It's a G-rated
Gary Vee quote.
So yeah, but I see what you're saying. You gotta. I always say number one, you gotta understand and identify your non-negotiables. Yeah. So now you have
a group of non-negotiables,
a blueprint, a guideline, right? Mm-hmm. Parameters for you and for the other people, and then like you just said, your priorities. What are they? Why are they? And then run with it.
Exactly.
And that's, I think that's a huge concept to grasp, especially at your age, because so many people your age, younger, a little bit older, don't get that, right? Because
No question.
at 19, right, you know my story, shit, at 19 I was sitting in the jail cell looking at 8
Yeah.
to 10. So we were worlds apart,
Oh,
at
yeah.
19 years old. That being said, I know you also have some really great opportunities coming up on the horizon, very,
Oh, yeah.
very, very closely.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this: where, in terms of the creativity, in terms of the EQ, the little short videos that you're doing now, like the reality videos, like we just did for me, we're gonna do more. What have you changed to create more creativity? What have you changed, or what have you learned, or what have you enhanced to pull that out?
For the longest time, I've been just producing content, just produce. I wasn't taking anything in.
Okay.
So, like, I always thought, like, oh my goodness, I can't be watching stuff. I can't go sit and watch a 2-hour movie. I can't, go on YouTube and watch some random stuff. Like, I'll watch maybe Daley V and Casey Neistat, but that's it. Then I realized the well's drying up. The well of creativity is drying up.
So the escrow account is getting low.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what do we mean by that?
Is that I kept pulling from the creativity, and I was like, there's nothing here anymore.
You weren't depositing.
I wasn't depositing.
You were withdrawing.
I was withdrawing.
From the escrow account.
I was withdrawing.
Right?
I was withdrawing.
Okay.
And then I realized it as counterintuitive as it was to me at the time, I had to sit and I had to watch stuff. I had to sit and I had to watch, I had to
learn?
Yeah, I learned. I had to watch, videos, I had to watch movies, I had to watch films, I actually had to sit and veg out and watch stuff. Now, to me, after working, it's counterproductive. It's like, why would I sit and do this when I can go make something? And then I realized, because I have to rebuild that escrow account.
Yes.
I have to fill that up.
That was a major difference?
That was the major difference, is that I started watching stuff again.
Okay, so then it's almost like a fighter, right? They're watching fights of their opponent before the fight.
Exactly.
So now they can take that in, learn, understand the movement, the combinations, right? So you were starting to figure that out, right? And then use that, build your toolbox, if you will. Right? So you can pull more tools from it when you're out on
exactly.
Right?
And it's just experimenting. It's, again, going back to it as if you've never done it before. Like, you saw the photo of the skateboarder, right?
Yeah.
That photo, I was just experimenting. I didn't know how the photo was going to turn out. I was shooting something completely different. But then I got that. It was all about...
What do you mean you were shooting something different?
I was photographing him, but I was trying to photograph it and make it look like something else.
Oh.
I didn't realize I got that photo until I was back in the editor. So I was like, okay, do I keep it or do I not? And then I'm like, I like how this looks. And I posted it, and that became one of the most popular photos I've ever taken.
Really?
By not limiting what the end product could look like.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, not limiting the opportunity.
There you go.
Right? Could that really could be. So in essence, staying in the flow.
Exactly.
Right? Staying open.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're looking.
Staying open, that's the word.
Yeah, and you're looking. You're in the editing room, and you're like, oh wow, Yeah. And I'm sure that probably happens to a lot of photographers, right? They think that they're going after this one shot, right? And all of a sudden something else pops out.
No question about it.
Okay. Yeah.
No question about it.
Now, what about video though? What about
video?
Yeah, like what have you done different from a year ago to when we did the shoot 3 weeks ago? I think it was.
Video. Well, video is first and foremost going to be the thing that I do. Photography is fun, and I kind of do it for myself and a few people. Video, again, it was watching how other people work, and then watching Daley V, but also really looking at what I could do with my equipment. I mean, that's going back to the IQ, but it works because I didn't know 6 months ago, I didn't know half the stuff that I was capable of doing because I had these tools. I didn't know that. Here's the thing. I didn't know I could use this wirelessly to connect to the camera. I didn't know about that until like 2 months ago. Just experimenting and using the EQ to enhance the IQ. That's what I did differently.
Okay.
That's what I did differently on our shoot too. with that mega episode on the road, I realized that there was so much I could be doing because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can use it like this. I could use it like this. I could hold the camera above you and shoot like this. I could hold I could be a target for you to punch. And if you watch the episode, you'll know what that is.
So a lot of times then before that, you were just in this box,
Yeah.
right? You were.
I wasn't directing the shots.
Right.
I was just like there. So that's just one of the biggest things that I've learned. It's also be in control. You're the filmmaker. You're the one who's going to tell the story. Be there. Be present.
Okay.
You're the one who's making the story. Be like a painter who's painting a canvas.
Right.
He's showing each brushstroke, each paint. I don't paint, so I'm probably.
So you're saying are you saying that you started to realize that you need to take control of
the set.
the set?
Yes.
You have to take control of the set
Absolutely.
because that's why you're there. That's why you're being paid, right?
Exactly.
And that's so in essence a director,
I'm being a director.
right? To yourself and
Yes.
to whoever else you're shooting.
Exactly.
And we did we do a full day. I mean, we did from the time I picked you up in the truck from 9 o'clock in the morning, right, till I forget. Well, we stopped filming, and looking back, if I was going to do it, I think we should have kept the filming after, right?
You're right.
And we'll probably do that because
that's another thing we learned.
we had some really good
Conversation.
content,
I did record it.
At
I didn't
dinner,
put it because it didn't fit though.
right?
Yeah.
And even in between all that, especially, and what I mean by good content, I'm talking about like me when
Black curtain.
right? And not being able to stay in that wind tunnel, right?
Yeah.
So I could have really been able to expand much more on that,
yeah.
which looking back, I should have.
Yeah.
And then Sunday when I went back and conquered it and got my lunch money back, it would have been even more impactful.
Sense,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't know why we didn't. I'm not sure why we didn't.
Yeah. It was. I left the camera in the car because for me, another thing that I learned in my process was sometimes it's good to just let the camera, just let it sit in the car, just not shoot so you can take in the information. Now, looking back, we should have had the thing rolling the whole time.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is, one of the things that I've picked up on from since 9 months ago is I'm learning how to take a punch.
Yeah.
And like that right there, it may be a small punch that I should have been recording. But you know what? Okay, next time I'm gonna record the whole time and I'm gonna make sure that it's like this.
Yeah, and that's the only way you learn.
And the first one's always the hardest. This one was in the editing room. It was hard to do because it's.
Oh, and you're gonna when we get off and we
Yeah.
reshare this, you're gonna post a link for people to see it.
Absolutely,
right? On YouTube?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna be able to do that because I know it's gonna be a big, probably on the front page of your portfolio now.
Yeah,
right?
it
And
is.
we got some really cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
But so where do you want to go with this company? Where do you see yourself going in the next 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I know that's how long you have to plan out, but no, I know where I'm going to go. I want to be the best filmmaker in all of Southern California.
Okay.
I want to be the guy that, sounds arrogant, but follow me. I want to be the guy, when I mention my name, or when other people mention my name, it has so much weight that they'll just be like, you got George, Elias? You got him? He's booked 6 months in advance. How did you get him?
Okay.
That's what I want to be.
And when you say filmmaker, what does that mean?
Is a creative behind the camera who actually makes something people want to watch.
Okay.
Not just.
And are you talking short films? Are you talking long films? Are you talking everything?
There we go. We're back. This is what happens if you watch last episode. A battery died on us.
Are we
So
back?
we're replaying what went on in the last episode.
All right. So
So yeah, we're back.
All right, let's see. Let's make sure we're back. I don't see us yet. Are we on, guys?
Yeah, we're on. I know that. Just tap it. Yep, see, we're back.
There we go.
See, yeah, this is what happens. Bumps in the road happen, but you know what? We're back. And going back to what I said is, you asked what kind of filmmaker? Short films. I love between the 10-minute and 30-minute time slot. It's just 2-hour films, that seems a little bit too excessive. 5 minutes, it's too short. I love that 10 to 30-minute range.
Okay. I think that's where everything's going anyway.
Yeah.
Because of people's attention spans.
Exactly.
Right? So, what do you see yourself doing with the degree that you're going to get from college?
There's some stuff in the works I'm working on right now. I don't feel able to say it right now on camera.
Okay.
But the end goal is that my brother's going to be free from seizures.
Okay.
End of story.
Okay.
By hook or by crook, I want to make sure he gets a normal life. Hey, he's my baby brother.
Yeah.
What else?
And I'd like to actually, since we're talking about this, love to go down this road because I'm going to be doing it more and more now on the health and nutrition and your body because it's your vehicle to get you through this lifetime. So what have you noticed? Let me ask you this, and I know the answer to this, but I want you to expand on it. How important, what kind of an impact is nutrition with his issues?
Oh my goodness, it's crazy important. He's on a ketogenic diet, and I know you've been in like Atkins keto.
Yeah. He's
been on probably the strictest ketogenic diet I've ever seen. 5 carbs per meal, and his medication adds to his carb count. That's how sensitive he is to his carbs.
Oh.
So, I think his medication's 2 carbs, so that means he can only have 3 carbs in the morning.
And is that complex carbs, like oatmeal, bread?
He can't have anything.
Okay.
5 carbs. So he'll have steak with a stick of butter in the morning. That actually doesn't sound too bad. He'll have...
But he's so thin.
He's so thin because the ketosis...
Yeah.
When you're in ketosis, it's like you become a diesel engine.
Yes.
And diesel can
It's a
burn
furnace.
anything.
Right? It's a furnace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and you can see it. And I almost went into... Athletes and people who actually starve themselves and do intermittent fasting go into ketosis. And I would experiment on myself, and I do that. The clarity, the instant recall is...
So what have you seen different with him?
With him, his personality is out. Like in 2011 when we started, he was a vegetable. I mean, he wasn't, but he just was he just would disappear. He would go into his room, he would go on the computer, not talk to us, not have a personality, and then gone. And then he'd be, then he'd come back. And then now that he's on a ketogenic diet, it's just that he gets his personality. He has a very good taste in music, and he's doing origami. He's folding pieces of paper that you'd want to throw out into these shapes that are smaller than a grain of rice. He's been able to figure out what he loves doing, and he's been able to make money selling his stuff. Because I'm gonna call him out on this. He's probably watching right now, but he wants a laptop bad. He wants his own laptop because right now he has the school's laptop. So he said. We told him, okay, you want your own laptop? George paid for his own equipment. Daniel's going to pay for his own bike. You pay for your own laptop. End of story. He's been saving up for the last year just selling origami, and he'll always say, Mom, did I sell anything? Mom, did I sell anything? And then he'll go to places, and he'll bring some with him, and he'll bring like a backpack full of paper so he could sell it right there. That's how determined this guy is, and I love it because it runs in the family.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's got the hustle.
He's got the hustle. He's got the personality for it, too.
That's awesome. Excuse me, guys. I'm just getting over a cold.
Yeah, it's not going to take you down.
Man, oh man. So let me ask you this: is there anything that I didn't talk about that you want to mention before we do jump off?
It's how much you have impacted my creativity and my hustle.
Okay.
It's you are probably the most stressful. Like if I get a text from you, there's three texts you can get from Dave. It's the 2 fists. That's how you know you're doing well. You get okay, cool, you're okay. And if you get the single capital letter K, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Cindy says the same thing.
Yeah,
Cindy
I know. Yeah, and this is even worse. If you get the lowercase k, that means he didn't even bother to make it capital. That's when you know you're
The
dead.
lowercase k is, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
mean,
much.
that's it. You know, it's funny because she'll be like, please don't do that.
Please don't do this.
But what are, I mean, you know, first of all, appreciate that. And what are some of the things you've learned? What are some of the things that you're taking with you?
Victory list. That's the first thing I did. Is
Okay.
that the victory list? And
What
I was
is
like,
that?
It's
For people that don't know.
Oh yeah. Hang on. There you go. That's better. That's what's gonna pop up right now. Victory. It's just a checklist of all the stuff that you have to do, what you have to get done.
But why is it called a victory list?
Because instead of crossing out, you put a little V at the end of it. You put a V. You put a
Well,
V.
how
you
does
put a
that
V.
make you feel?
It's
How do
just
you,
like I got it done.
okay.
I got it done.
So it's a victory.
Yeah, and
right?
I have a whiteboard at home that has all my projects on it,
Okay.
and I write V at the end of it, and I can see and I can visualize what I
So
have to do.
here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Right? When you go home, I want you to take a picture or a short video and break that down
Yeah.
and share it.
Absolutely.
Because that's content.
That's content.
That's value.
That's value.
Right? So how has that helped you?
The victory list, it's you can see what you have to do. You've taken it out of your head and out of this realm and made it something real and tangible that you can actually, okay, I can interact with it
So when do you update it?
every time I complete something.
Okay.
Every time I complete something, it's one. Why did I do this? One off, one on. One off, one on.
And do you go, okay, and then
It's a clipboard. So
okay,
I go.
you
like,
revolve.
I revolve.
Okay. When do you review it? Do you review it daily? Do you review
Daily.
it? Okay.
Sometimes hourly, because
Okay.
I just need to go back and see. Because if you can't tell, I can get scatterbrained real easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go back. I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? Finish the first project. What's next? Because if I don't, I'll just wander
Yeah,
off.
yeah, it'll be something else. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And that's why when I was introduced to it and I start to implement it, same thing.
Yeah.
Huge, man. For me, what it does is, like, if I do that victory list at night, right, for the next day, it's such a relief for me because now it's actually down.
You can see it.
Instead of going, oh my God, what about that? What about, you know? And the other thing I like about it is it gives you a true audit. So at the end of the day, right, it's going to tell you either you really goofed off and you better get back on track, or you got a hell of a lot more done than you gave yourself credit for.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a win.
That's actually the biggest thing too. Is I'm the most critical person I know on myself. That's the second thing. Is that all right, George? Just get it done and don't worry too much about it. You already have it done. Move on to the next thing.
Okay.
Is that I can be extremely critical on my own work, and mentally I'll beat myself over the little stuff. Working with you has made me realize it's over.
Right.
Get to the next project. And I'm working on that more and more to get better and faster. That's my biggest thing, and I always mention this to you, and it's really efficiency. But my thing is, I want to get faster.
Okay.
I want to get faster at my work. I want to be able to shoot Sunday and deliver Thursday.
Okay.
I can't do that yet. I want to be able to get things done on time, ahead of schedule, so that way when an opportunity comes, I'm ready for it.
What else? Anything else you learned when you're talking about that? When you're talking about timelines,
Keep the client updated constantly.
right?
Keep the client updated. With this last project, it took me a lot longer than I expected because we had issues with the music. And then we had issues with my health that I'm just getting back up and running with. And I didn't keep you updated for the first half of that, or first 3/4 of it, if I'm really being honest.
Yeah.
The last one, okay. We've been working on it. We got it. We're getting back together. So now going forward, it's all text message away. And my biggest issue with that, looking back, was I can't come to you empty-handed. And then you told me, but that's worse than not coming to me at all.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing I've
And
learned.
why is that?
Because then it's like you're running.
Right.
You're running away
from
it.
what? That monster.
You're running
right?
away from the green monster.
And
the
bullies-
green monster under the
And the
bed.
bully's taking your money.
Exactly.
Right? Your lunch money.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not addressing it.
Exactly.
Right? Now, that doesn't, but understand, right? And I believe you know this.
Yeah.
It doesn't condone it.
No.
It doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? All it means is you're addressing it.
Yeah.
You're owning it.
Yeah.
And you're taking it on the chin.
Exactly.
Right? And now, but the key is that only goes so far.
You gotta
But
be
if
able
you
to fix
keep
it.
doing it,
No,
that's
then-
when it
then your reputation.
right. that's when it becomes useless.
Exactly.
Right? And people question then your word.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you could share with everyone in your
in Arabic, yeah.
yeah, in your world, right, how you grew up. Share with what you told me when it's somebody's word.
When it's somebody's word, it's their bond. It's pretty much all you have. It's in Arabic. There's a word, two words. I'm not going to say it in Arabic, but there's a covenant and then there's an upright man. A covenant is something you hear about it in the Bible all the time, but it's an actual word. It's an actual thing used in the culture. It's that it creates something new, and that you will hold it. You will hold your life on the line for this thing. And then the second thing is an upright man is someone who's capable of standing on their own 2 feet. And so I grew up with that. So it's I'm getting better. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm gonna give myself the benefit that I'm a human with blood in my veins, and you know I'm 19 and I don't think I'm doing too bad. As long as I'm getting better.
And learning.
Right.
And
taking the punch in the face and taking the K and then just sending you the project and saying, that's awesome, G, I love it.
And I think one of the things that really helped put it in perspective for you, and you tell me if I'm right, is when I didn't hear from you for a few days,
yeah.
and then I reached out and I said, whoa, wait a minute, this is unacceptable. This is a non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
And then when I said, if you had your dad as your client, but didn't know your dad, and you did that to him,
I would have been over.
how would that have been?
It would have been over.
Right?
Yeah.
He would have fired you.
Yeah.
Right? He would have fired you. And because you know that's not how you were raised,
Exactly.
right? You
Exactly.
know.
No question about it.
Right. So then you own it.
Yeah.
And you move on.
Exactly.
So it's much, much better to come to somebody and say, listen, man, here's why I couldn't do it. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Right.
Yeah.
And let's
Let's
move on
forward.
Yeah. Let's move on. So,
Wow.
anything else that, you want to share before we jump off?
Not that I could think of.
Okay.
No, that's pretty much it.
Why don't you give us, and you're going to share your contacts and your information, but why don't you just give us a quick overview on what you provide, what you do?
I'm a visual storyteller. A lot of businesses, they have a story to tell, or weddings, they have a story about how the bride and the groom came together. If there's a story to be told, I'm the guy to tell it, because everyone nowadays, it's all about authenticity. It's all about the story. It's all about the journey, the process, and I will provide that in filmmaking, short films, and content, because what we need to share now is content. We need to share, go a little bit behind that black curtain. And if you see my films on my website, figtreecinemas.com,
And you're gonna post
yeah,
all that.
I'm gonna post all that in the links.
Yeah.
But it's all about the story of the day and the story. I say that too much. I don't want it to lose its meaning, but it's the truth. It's a story. It's a narrative piece. There's a beginning. How did this happen? Middle, the process of it happening, and the end result, where we are right now. That's what I love sharing, and that's what I love producing. So, Fig Tree Cinemas. I'm George Elias. I'm a storyteller.
Awesome, and you've come a long way, man.
Yeah.
From the first.
Yeah.
So as you know, we end the show the same way, right? Every time, and it's the Monster Motivator Roar, and as you know, we believe that you can only be in one state of mind at a time. So if you could purr like a kitten or roar like a lion, what would you do?
Roar like a lion.
Roar like a lion. You ready on 3?
Wait 1 second. I gotta warn everyone because I'm not there monitoring audio. Lower the volume on your headphones.
There you go.
I gotta let them know.
All right, there's your one warning.
One warning.
On 3,
3.
1,
1,
2, 3.
Ah!
Good job. Good job, big man.
There we go.